Welcome back to TEYARA SMP, a TNP Limitless 7 series, and today we are finally going to build this roof. Or at least, probably, I think. I have a number of wood types that I think I might use in this build, but for simplicity's sake, I think we might just do it all in one color, probably the mangrove, I'm not gonna lie, and then potentially add more detailing later. Now, there were a couple of things that went through my head when I picked out these blocks, and there are actually a couple more in my inventory, which I realized that I apparently haven't opened in this particular instance, but I was thinking that we have potentially a gradient here from the acacia through to the trumpet. I think those generally kind of work. This one here is a little bit more blue heavy, I think, than over here, which I think could be considered more red-green territory because it's more brown, which tends to be more orangey, I think. But in general, I think these colors work well together. I also think that as a complementary color, or like just sort of a different shade, we've got the warped planks. And then as a lighter block, we've got the birch planks. So we might potentially do something that's kind of like the, if you're familiar with it, the Rivendell set in LEGO. But for now, let's just pick one of these blocks. I think we're going to do mangrove to start, and then we'll just... Yeah, I think we will actually go with mangrove to start, because if you think about it, this place is kind of in a canyon, and so the only time that we're really getting sun is when it's directly overhead, and even then we are very far north of the equator, relatively speaking, so theoretically that means that we're going to end up with darker blocks. So I think we are going to get started with mangrove planks here, and what we're going to do... I really should have made some slab first, because that's what we're going to start off with. And this is the problem with keeping all of my wood in one place, because I end up not remembering where it all is. So let's make another stack there, and we'll just go ahead and turn that into slabbage. And I don't think I'm going to do all of this at once. I do think that we are going to, like, at least get some of the slope correct in all of the different positions that we need to do. And then we'll fill it in off camera, and then we'll maybe do some more of the difficult portions where we're joining two different roof types together, like over here and over here. But for now, let's just start with the most easy one in the middle. I need to decide, do I want this roof to come down to here? Because I'm also thinking in terms of, you know how I like to do realism when it comes to rain and stuff like that. But this being lower than this does mean that water is just going to come off and you just fall down, which is okay. At the very least, I think we can kind of start with this slope and then go from there. And then I think I like the idea of this contacting the support beam that we've got down here. And I don't know why I'm going all the way across. I just said that we're probably going to do some of this off camera. But it's not that difficult, I suppose. Here is actually where we're going to start getting into some difficult parts. Okay, I think we do upside down stairs there. Then we're going to need a framed block here for the corner section. And then I think we might do vertical slab. Oh no, we might do... another corner there. And then there's nothing really here. Maybe we could do stair like this, and then potentially put like an inverted dark oak here. Yes, so the point is I'm going to need framed blocks. Let's go ahead and get those. Okay, so now as I was murmuring to myself, I think I said I wanted... we do upside down stairs here. And I think when it comes to what we're doing with the pattern, we'll just, if it's an easy enough pattern, we'll just build it out all at once. And if it's not, then we'll probably repeat it off screen. I think maybe the patterning, I mean, not the slope pattern, like, you know, the putting down the blocks part, but the replacing them with different color blocks. If we actually do that, like if I decide this roof is too boring, let's do something else, then we might do that off screen too, because I have no idea what I'm doing. What did I say? I think I said inverted stair there, and then, oh wait, no, hold on. Okay, I think instead we can do slab edge. The problem is we kind of need to do it, we need to somehow do it from this angle here. And that's going to be difficult to target what we're going for. Maybe like that? Can we do that? Yes, we can. And then I think we're going to have to get on top of it in order to place the next one, just to get the facing right as well. Now, I don't know if this is going to look good. I'm just kind of spitballing based upon the framework that I've already laid out for myself. But what did I say here? Did I say inverted staircase here? I don't want to... No, I want a regular staircase here. And then on the other side, we're going to add in some more support on the dark oak, I think. Yeah, let's take a look at that. Yeah. We add like a vertical dark oak there, potentially. And that's even only if we want the support beams to like go lower than the roof on the inside. This could be fine. I wish I could find out what mod that's from, because it's very much annoying me, and I don't think I always had it. And I just don't understand. Maybe it's the cloak of balance? Hold on, let me take that off. Let me take that off real quick. Because it was something that we got, I think, during... That was it. That was probably it. Hold on. Okay, now let's put it back on. That was exactly it. Yep. I don't know why that does that, but... Oh yeah, and we can also see in the NBT data there that it had a cooldown. So I think we just put this in here until I figure out what it is, if I really want to hold on to it, etc. And then for now, let's just keep on going here. Okay, so then we go ahead and put in this. And then, I guess, vertical slab here. Because we don't really want this overhanging the part where it meets the roof. Or it doesn't really matter either way. Like, rain is still going to flow off of this and then down and then around to here. Hold on. Why? Oh, yeah, because this comes in and sort of meets up at this. And I will say that this particular curve is wider on this side and intentionally like narrows itself here. So normally it's supposed to come out to here, but because we already have the support structure coming down from the top here, I figured, you know what, let's just make that meet up. That's going to be one of the easier lines to deal with. And then we're going to have to figure out something to do with how this comes together. Right, so I don't know how much of what I said I cut or left, but what I'm planning on doing, now that we've got this slab layer here, just as sort of a guideline, we are going to move probably not this part of the support, but probably at least this part of the support up to this level. And so that way we have, you know what, let's even go ahead and just take these slabs. And, loath am I to throw out churros in real life, but in a video game we can afford to do that. I'm pretty sure I can make those fairly simply. It's just dough and sugar and cinnamon, I think, which I have now. So I think we kind of want to do like that. And then this is a frame slab corner, you say. I think we want to get rid of that. I think we can get rid of, well... I don't know exactly how this comes in, but I think we can get rid of this too. And we'll do some shaping of the underside when we get there. I'm also going to get rid of, I think these are snickerdoodles. Yeah, we don't need snickerdoodles, which is sad. I love snickerdoodles in real life. I love churros, I love snickerdoodles, I love cinnamon. On this very first edge, we are going to probably start with vertical slabbage. Drat. Do we want vertical slab, or do we want to start with stair? Because the thing is, this is supposed to just be a support. But on the other hand, if we do a stair, that's going to mess with the curvature at the bottom. Like, it's going to make it look like it flares out, and we want kind of a dome. So I think we want, now, the mangrove stairs. No, we want vertical slab here and corner here to make it look like it's a stair, but it's not. And you know what? The other thing I might do is just do all the weird curvature stuff off screen, because I can't fully articulate how my brain works with that. Like, obviously I start with the same shape that we have initially here, but then when we get, like, to the rest, or when we get to blending that in as a proper curve, like, I'd start with the same slope that we have over here, like on this side and on this side, just because that makes sense. But then we'll probably have to build out the radius on the bottom. And then I might, like, take several intermediate points along the way and build out those radii. And then finally, when we're done with that, we'll join it all up based upon vibes. Like, it's not going to be the best curve in the world. This is just a tribute. I think we want corner, and then I think we just do regular slab. Okay, so we do something like that. We fill it in with our mangrove. And then we put in our regular slab. And I think I like how that looks. Let's take a look at it from above. That's not terrible. It'll certainly look better once we have more of the curve complete, I think. Okay, you know what? That's not bad. I mean, it does just look like a whole bunch of stairs. But then again, on this sort of curvature that we have here, this just looks like a bunch of stairs too. So that might be okay. It looks a little too much like stairs. It looks just a little too much like stairs. That's annoying me. It is what it is. We'll workshop it. We'll think about that just a little bit. This is probably fine. Let's take a look from another angle. Maybe it'll look better from over here. It's not terrible from the front, but again, it just looks like a diagonal with... I think the problem is the middle needs to bulge out just a little bit more. Okay, I think I have an idea. I don't think it's gonna look great, but we're gonna try it, and it'll hopefully make it slightly better. I think maybe we start by taking these, and instead of doing the corners, we'll do vertical mangrove. And this is a framed slab edge, so I think we need to take this out, and I think maybe we just put in slab. I think this might look more circular than even the support structure, which we may need to update if this looks better, or if it just, you know, fits better within the actual build itself. And you know what? That might even just work with the support structure as it is. And I do think the curvature is better now that we've made that change. we can definitely use that as our starting point for the dome over here. I think we've done a good job. So that means, lastly, we need to tackle this funky shape over here. And the problem is, we don't really have any one part that I think encompasses the whole thing, especially because we are interrupted by the chimney partway through. So let me just take a look at where this part of the layer is supposed to go on the other side. Yeah, so we've got vertical stair, and then an inverted vertical stair, which we can't do on the other side, but that's fine. And then, yeah, this would just normally go straight back if we were not integrating into the slope of the roof that we currently have. So I think from the other side, we can just take the outermost part of the block. Let me think about this, because I think it comes out one more. That is also a bit of a problem. Okay, so we've got the vertical stairs. No, yeah. It's on the edge of the second vertical stair set. So I just need to keep that in mind. So we've got vertical stair. This is the edge that I need to follow. So we are on, what is this? X negative 2111. So as long as we stay on X 2111, which is here, that's perfectly fine. For now, I think we'll just do this. It's kind of annoying because there aren't any good framed blocks that like fit that kind of space that I require there, but I guess we can just, that's so annoying. I guess for now we'll go like that and then put this in like a dat, and then we'll just pick that back up. And the thing is, maybe I can get rid of the vertical slab now at this point in time, because, yeah, alright, I'll definitely need to think about this. Oh, yeah, and on this side, this probably isn't going to work either, just because of the... Yeah, we need to somehow fit the roof into this part of the block too, and I don't think FramedBlocks has anything like that. So this part where we have the framing around the chimney is going to get really funky. That's fine. I might do that off stream, or stream? I'm not streaming. Off camera too. Yes, so the other awkward thing is this kind of meets the wall. And that means I'm going to have to terraform at some point in time just to make that look like more natural integration here. Like, because you kind of do want your roof structure to just butt up against the mountain, I think. At least the way that I'm doing it, I think that makes more sense. So ostensibly we'll start with that, and then I think for this block over here, we might just have to settle for double vertical panel, and then put the mangrove into that. I think that'll work probably. I think we also want to do just another vertical here. And then I think we do a corner here. I don't know if I like this, but this is one of the weirder slopes that we've got going on. So I think this will be okay. And then we probably want... Could we just do that? We might just be able to do that. And then this is the unfortunate part. In this corner, we're not going to have a lot of drainage. At least not if I'm playing this with any degree of realism. So what would happen if the water comes down here is it will flow along, possibly start to erode like here, and then flow down here. So we might even... That's a good idea. I know for a fact there are gutters. Yes, there are gutters in this game, and I think if we pick... I guess the red, maybe the brown would probably look the best. And so if we just make some gutters from Macaw's roofs, then we can just have a gutter that comes across probably over to... I don't know, maybe like here-ish. And the idea is basically just that we want things to drain not onto this right here. We want it to drain out over here, because otherwise you're going to start eroding your staircase and possibly affecting your rails. And yes, this is open roof, so you're going to get just some natural rainfall that way, but what we especially want to avoid is the extra accumulation that we're going to get off of this flow here. So I think that looks okay. Oh, yes, this is already panel mode, so we can fill that in. And then we can... Oh, vertical slab. This can be gotten entirely rid of because you're never going to see that part. So we can just do that and just not even care. This is going to be difficult because it's clearly a half stair. Boy. Framed? I think, yeah, so there is something like this, but the problem with the three-way corner is that there isn't like a do half with one block kind of option, I don't think. So I think what might look best, at least in this particular case, is if we take out the half stair and we make it a double stair panel, I think it's called, something like that. And this, to be fair, doesn't have everything, like double, I think split might be another, nope, stair. Let's just go straight for stair. We have divided stairs, yes, so we could do that potentially. Let me look for divided real quick. Divide. Nope, yep, it's all stairs. Oops, all stairs. Yeah, so I think we want, for this one, just framed divided stairs and hope that because we're kind of in the corner that nobody's looking at, that it's not going to get a whole lot of scrutiny. The real problem is going to be that equivalent over here, where we are going to get that additional bit of bulge. Which, the more I think about it, we could also solve by doing a stair. Oh, which I conveniently already have in my inventory. So I think we might try that. Nope, not like that. Like that. So we might do that, and then we might do that. And then probably put like one of the corner blocks there. Okay, yeah, so I think I said we'll replace that with the double, and that's just gonna look a little funky on the inside, but that's fine. And then we can fix this, quote unquote, by just putting in like that, and then like that, I think will solve the problem. And this might even make the slope look better, I'm not entirely sure. Or it might be unnecessary. Like, we might do a vertical stair here instead. Just because this is a weird support structure area. That might be a good idea, actually. This is another weird spot. I'm tempted to just put in more dark oak here, because this is a chimney. It may need all the extra reinforcement that it can get. So I think we might just do that, and then I think we might also just do... Well, if that's the case, we could take out this panel. Oh, no, that's why we can't just do that, because we can actually see the nether bricks here. So we can ignore that. We can ignore that here and here, because those will never get seen. But here we need a double panel, and we'll need the nether brick on the inside and the dark oak on the outside, and I think that'll look better, probably. And so then that will just give this the illusion of being more framed in. So let's try this. What did I say? We're probably doing... I really need to take off these roller skates for roof work? I mean, go figure, wearing roller skates on a roof is a bad idea? Right, yes. So, we are kind of getting to where we're going to need to start curving here. I just want to do this out on this side, and then we'll probably stop for the evening so I can work out some of the more difficult curves Okay, but for now, after mucking about, I think that looks good on the inside. Let us, real quick, sleep and check the outside. Yeah, now this part aside, where we had to use the framed slice stair panel, I think this does look fairly good in general. Like, this part of the curve is weird, this is a little bit weird. I would have... Oh, that is something that I hadn't thought of. Okay. That is unfortunately something that's visible on the inside. But I guess we could just compensate by very lazily shoving one of these in here. And actually, that has made it work. That has made it work in my mind. Because what happens now is we're sort of implying that we've got like this sliver of roof that's coming down the side. And I still like this slope in general. Yeah, no, I think that actually works. I think that's actually worked. Let's check inside again. Right, that's the problem with inside. Okay, I have an idea. I think we take this back. No, but anything that fixes... No. Yes, I have it. We just need to rotate the stairs the other way. Do we have... Yeah, we still have one of these. We just need the stairs such that the inside bit... There we go. So we do something like that. The inside bit is the right color as far as I can tell. And then we do this, and then we do this, and then we have this as a bit of a problem, though. If I replace this with a double, and I replace the one below it with a double, we could potentially do like a carry this line all the way down. Oh, but what am I saying? I don't think I need a double there. Let's just hop up again. Okay, that's panel. So we'd lose this right here, this little sliver, which we could do nothing to replace with. But you know what? That would honestly be fine, I think, if we carried this down one. That wouldn't look much different than what we already have here. So let's make that edit as well. Please don't have anything in you. I don't think you do. Right. So I need to put in the stair the weird way again, which is going to be from up here, I think. So if I do that, and then we do this, and hopefully this, that just works, and I think it genuinely adds the sort of depth that I was looking for, that the sort of breaking up of the lines that we needed. Like, yeah, we do still have, like, this is kind of flat looking, but I think that's okay because it's all planks at least. And if we really do want more depth, we can always just replace this with the vertical double, I think it's called. The double vertical panel or something like that. We could potentially switch that if we don't like this being flat with this. But even then, that would only really affect these two blocks. Well, that's pointless. I think this looks okay. And then on this side, this is how it currently looks, which isn't great, but it's kind of what we're working with here. And don't let, don't let perfect get in the way of good. So I think this looks good, and that's fine. We'll just do that on the other side. We'll replace this block with the vertical while I'm thinking about it. And then when I come back, we'll have filled in some of these weird places. Actually, come to think of it, hold on. We can do the top of this while I'm staring at it. We'll need to be able to fill in... Okay, so this is going to be a bit of an issue. This is just the edge, so we're going to need to replace that with a double panel, I think, or a split panel. And then we'll have the dark there, and we'll have the mangrove here. But I think we can kind of just do this, and that's perfectly fine as the top of the dome, like the other part. And then I think I'm fairly confident that we can put these in as just the corner bits of the dome. And now I think I can call it a break for the night. And then when we come back, we'll have filled in just about everything except for these weird bits. Okay, it is now day 2 of working on the roof, and I've filled in a bit more than I expected. I guess I just got a little carried away, a little overzealous, but we still have a little bit more than we're going to do tonight, and then we'll finally be able to declare this thing done. So you can see that now we've got the full part of this roof section done. I've even tried to do kind of what I was thinking about, like bridging these two different slopes together. I'm not sure if I 100% like what I ended up with, because there was going to be a support that kind of came in down here, and I think I might remove this bit and possibly like some of this, just reshape it a little bit, get this mangrove come back through here, but we're gonna leave it for now just to sit on it and see how it looks later. But then the last part that we have over here is just this section, so I figured I'd use it to demonstrate kind of how I dealt with just trying to figure out slopes as I merge different parts together. For one thing, this ends up having a radius of, I want to say this was 5 on the interior, 7 on, the outside, and over here, this actually comes out 1 short, just because the actual circle, if we were following it, would then come out over here. But because we have this support coming in from this part of the roof, I figured that this just looked better if I just cut it short. So we're going to have to do a slightly different slope over here than we did over here, but it's still going to make it look like, I don't know, vaguely it's concave here and convex here. I think that's the way that you could talk about it. You could also say it is more of a parabola sort of here, and maybe like either a circle or, what is that, an inverse logarithm? A logarithm? I'm not sure. I always forget that particular function. Well, whatever. I'm talking about maths. And that's the thing. I'm basically just spitballing maths in my head. I'm not actually like doing any calculations in this particular build, but I have done them in the past. See my infinity evolved bridge, which was actually a parabola. So I believe we had the 3-corner here, yes, and then we've got the mangrove. And then on the other side of that, we have vertical stairs. Do I have vertical stairs? I do. That's good. What else? No, I want the vertical stairs. Thank you. And then beneath it, we have another vertical stairs, which I think I might have already put. No, I have not already put that in. So, how? Excuse me for a second here. Okay, so we've got stair, slab. Yes, I think I can do that. I'm pretty sure. So I think it was what? Stair. We'll put in the slab. And then stair. Yes, that actually makes sense. And then we can put in the vertical. Oh, but we don't actually want to put in the vertical. We want this, I think, because is that what I have over here? That might just be what I have over here. That is what I have over here, yes. So we're going to put the mangrove in here. Unless I've done this backwards. Yeah, we've done this backwards. Okay, so what we actually want to do is flip that around, so that on the inside we have a stripped log. Nope. Wrong. And then we want to just kind of... There we go. That's the right No, that's still wrong. That's still the wrong orientation. How have I managed this? All right. So we need the light side facing out as it currently is. There we go. Very good. And then we need one of these. I'm not going to go over and strip another 8 dark oak just so I can get 1 for the use. in here. And so that's good. Now we've got our supports going all the way up to here. And I think what I'm going to do on the inside, just because, again, we don't like this kind of line between the mushroom stem and the mangrove planks, is we're going to come along with some vertical dark oak slabbage. That is going to be later, probably. And I think I might also put some in here as well, just to give a little bit more depth to the supports here, I think. And we might also do some stuff with these planks on the interior, possibly turn them into stairs, just because that'll give us a little bit better shaping, I think. And because this just looks a little bit strange, but as long as it looks like a full block from the outside, that's perfectly fine. We can do a bunch of shaping that way. In fact, we could probably, since these are all planks, we could probably just do stair, stair, and stair, and it'll have that nice sort of L shape going on there, while still being full on the outside, if that makes any sense. But we'll do that later because I'm running low on mangrove at the moment, and I'll need to go and fetch more. So, let's see, we've got that. What was on? Probably another vertical stairs, right? Vertical stairs, yerp. So we get the vertical stairs, and then we go like that. I'm pretty sure that's what we have. Yes, we do. Like that. And then this is where things are going to get a little bit funky because we're not going all the way out. So we are probably going to have to start messing with the curve right around here. I think we do full block there. Looks pretty good. And then maybe full block here. And then we'll probably put in... We might need it. Oh, nope, we already have one of these. That's good. So we might put this in. Maybe replacing this with stairs could... Oh, well, no. The problem with replacing it with stairs is that we would have a hole right in here, and that would not be the best. And unless we have a debug stick, we can't curve it, because this isn't actually a stair block, and this isn't actually a stair block, so it wouldn't make the nice outer edge like I would be hoping for. So this might be the best solution, probably. It's not terrible, but it also doesn't quite look right. It looks too vertical. And the problem is, the only way to do the shape that I have in mind currently is chisels and bits. And we definitely don't want to be doing chisels and bits, because as we found out, that is probably going away at some point in time. I don't know if they're going to add it to the next version of the mod, but... So we can theoretically do something like this, and then do I not have another little bit? That's unfortunate. We can always come under here. For now, I could even possibly just put one of these in here as a placeholder and figure out what we actually want to put in there later. So let's hop away and take a look at that again. So just taking a look at it right now, it doesn't look terrible. It looks better than I thought it was going to turn out, considering how much custom, like, in my head this was. It's not like a typical roof, but I think that's why I like it, because it's not just a simple roof. It's a very custom shape, and I think I've actually managed to nail that custom shape. So we just need to put in the final details here, and then that's it for this episode. So I have the final decoration point on this roof, which is going to be these macaws, fences, and walls, railing nether brick wall, and nether brick railing gate. And we're just going to start by putting that here. And that does overhang a little bit, but that's fine, more or less. And then I think we want to move on to a railing gate there. Oh, and that just happens to line up with the supports. So that's almost kind of what I want to do in general, except for this edge here where we can't do that. So I think we might possibly go... Oh, yeah, and that's also interesting. We have to contend with rounding the corner here. So I think we kind of do something like that. I don't like that. So I think we kind of do... I think we round the corner like... Oh, right, diagonals! We can do diagonals! Oh, that's amazing! Yes, okay, so I think we just do diagonal there. I mean, yes, that's not very vanilla, but that's fine. Or, hold on. Better yet, I think I'm okay with some diagonalness, but like that might look better than I think just coming directly across. Probably. Let's see how this looks. Yeah, I'll accept that, I think. So let's put the gate here then, on top of the support, and then let's also put that on the other support side, just so that we know where we want to try and get to. We have 11 more of these. Do we have we have an even center here, so I need to think about that in terms of that. Let's go ahead and place those down and start thinking about, we have the diagonal here, then a straight, and then a diagonal. And then I think we probably want to do this, and then this, and we'll worry about this block later. We could even just replace it with some dark oak, and then just not even worry about terraforming the rest of this stuff, maybe? I haven't quite decided yet, but that'll be fine for now. So we have like that. I'm just trying to think about the best way that we can space out our gates so that it looks good. Maybe like here and here? Because then we put in wall, and then wall, wall, and then wall. And then I think we kind of have... Hopefully that looks good. I'm going to go out on a limb and guess that at least looks okay. I would have loved to have matched the roof color maybe just a little bit more, but if we take a look at Macaw... what did I say this is? Macaw's fences? Yeah, so if we take a look at our options, we also have modern nether brick wall. The problem is there isn't like anything that has the same kind of brick wall look that's in the right color. This is legitimately the closest to that color palette. Otherwise, we would end up doing a more stony thing. And that could be okay, but like, I don't think that really works here. Alternately, I guess we could have gone with just this nether brick pillar wall instead, and that would have looked possibly fine. The one thing that it doesn't have is we don't really have the gaps for water to flow out, so that's another important thing there. So now that we've put in our finishing touches, let's go into third person and take a look at this thing. Oh, that's not bad. I don't think that's bad. It's a little bit weird that we have the outlining on this roof here, but then we don't really do that over here. And I know part of it is because we have these supports under this part of the roof too, and maybe that mixing of styles is acceptable. Let me know what you guys think. It's not terrible, and I really like that we have as much shape in this as we do. Like, yeah, we had to very heavily lean on framed blocks, and I think we could potentially make this a little bit more circular if we just, if there's like a flat block that has 3/4 of it the same, and then the remaining quarter different. I don't think I saw anything like that in the slab variety in framed blocks, so this is another case of chisels and bits sure would have been helpful here, but alas, that's not meant to be. So it is still Minecraft. We are still going to have to deal with some blockiness. It's just that we've got a little bit more granularity thanks to the framed blocks. But in general, I really like how that shape turned out, and I mean, honestly, in all of the parts, I really liked how the shape turned out. These are all fairly custom curves, I think. From above, I did use a circle maker for this portion here, and also these portions here, like I did the outermost circle for this in the circle maker, and then also this dome part here. But everything in the third dimension, that's all custom. That's all I put my brain meat to it, and that's kind of what I thought looked good. And sometimes that's what you got to deal with. Sometimes that's just the best way to deal with things. And then, of course, at the very top, I don't know how much of it I kept in, but we've added these white stained glass slabs just because I wanted some kind of natural light to get in, almost like a skylight kind of situation here. And then I don't know if I'm going to have a second level that's going to come all the way out to the roof section here, but the point is there are going to be a whole bunch of living spaces for villagers down under there, and I thought it as like sort of a, yes, you're living in the side of a mountain, a giant glass roof is kind of a nice amenity. I mean, in addition, we also have a lot of open air space. We do have the communal kitchen. I may put some more like cooking spots inside as well. Haven't decided that yet, but that's for another episode. That's for when we finally start bringing villagers in here and livening this place up. But I have finally finished one of the 2 roofs of the buildings that are missing them, and that is one of the biggest things that I've been procrastinating on to this point in the series. But naturally, there are bigger things in store for us ahead that we'll get to when we get to. I may work on the remaining roof over here in the next week or so, but I think I'll just lightly touch on that if I actually finish it off camera. And then we'll figure out what's in store for us next week. So, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to like, subscribe, and click that bell to be notified, and as always, I'm looking forward to your feedback in the comments below. And with that, I will catch you on the flip side. Thanks for watching, everybody! In the upper left is the next video in the series, or a video you might like. In the lower left is the series playlist, and on the right is my icon by which you can subscribe. Thanks again for watching!